We've got to stabilize the population. When I was born, there were
so what's wrong with the population? I mean,
with too many people. That's why we have global warming.
Yes, founder of CNN, Ted Turner, who has 6 children, speaking in 2008 about the need to reduce the world population by 5 billion people to prevent global warming. We have got to stabilize the population. We are too many people. That is why we have global warming. We have global warming because too many people are using too much stuff. If there was less people, they'll be using less stuff.
What's the second highest
priority? The second biggest thing is global climate change.
Okay.
We've got to, and for so many reasons, we've got to move off of fossil fuel. Not doing it will be catastrophic. We'll have 8 degrees, we'll be 8 degrees hotter in 30 or 40 years, and basically none of the crops will grow. Most of the people will have died, and the rest of us will be cannibals. Civilization will have broken down. What the few people who are left will be living in a failed state like Somalia or Sudan, and living conditions will be intolerable. The droughts will be so bad there'll be no more corn growing. Not doing it is suicide. And then after that, we've got to stabilize the population. When I was born, there were
what's wrong with the population? I mean,
with too many people. That's why we have global warming. We have global warming because too many people are using too much stuff. But if there were less people, they'd be using less stuff.
Mr. Turner, I was wondering if you think it's a good idea to reduce 90% of the population because we are being overpopulated by a lot of... 90%. 80? Prince Philip said 80, sir. I go with 85.
I think 2 billion is about right.
Right, me too. Thank you. Exactly.
Yes, you might be wondering why I decided to react on this video. Looking back, Bima had an interview a few days ago. According to this tweet, Bima advocates and would love to participate in reducing the global population to 3 billion as a solution to combat climate change. This has been a topic of discussion on most social media platforms. I'm not skeptical about certain issues, but when I look at a video, like seeing people saying there are too many people, the only solution to reduce this is by dropping down the number of people because they are using too many things. Then I wonder if God was stupid.
Bill is going to do what Bill is going to do, right? Okay. So climate change debate, you know, we have a problem. This is what's going on. Fine. 10,800, research, scientists. Great. Let's agree on that. That's exactly what's going on. Now what do? So what if scientists come back and say the way for us to save civilization, we have to bring the population back down to 3 billion. Do you agree with that strategy?
Oh, I'd love it. I'd like to take part in it.
You'd like to take part in it,
yes,
right?
There's way too many people.
So you think there's way too many people?
Of course.
Yes, there is something I came across recently. Baby food has been intentionally poisoned with lead. How is this not national news? That is according to this tweet I saw. Breaking news, the FDA has found a guy who was intentionally contaminating baby food.
Breaking news, the FDA has found the guy who was intentionally contaminating baby food pouches made of applesauce with lead, okay? With lead. And shocking, not shocking, they can't do shit about it. For the past year or so, there have been many reports of extremely high levels of lead in baby food applesauce pouches, okay? Now, I hate these pouches for a myriad of reasons, and I have a number of videos on them. However, the lead, FDA always said it looked like it may have been intentionally added, okay? However, they've actually found a guy in Ecuador named Carlos Aguilla who was intentionally poisoning the cinnamon from Ecuador with lead. U.S. authorities have said for months that they suspected that the lead poisonings could be intentional, saying one of the theories they were pursuing was that it was a result of economically motivated adulteration of the cinnamon used in the applesauce. Now, I have hated baby food for a long time, right? It is contaminated with lots of other things, even before it even gets into that plastic pouch, other heavy metals, PFAS, right? Then when it gets into the plastic pouch, they pasteurize it in that pouch for the most part. Like the vast majority of brands do this. So you're getting a shit ton of chemicals from the adhesives, toxic oligomers, and then of course microplastics, right? Oh, and lots of flame retardants from the polypropylene lining on the inside. So baby food pouches are a no-go. Not to mention they're a super ultra processed food with a completely untraceable supply chain. Other spices such as turmeric have been intentionally tainted using lead and other substances in the past. I had no...
Yes, this is the world we are living in. People can be this wicked. What is the essence of doing this? It saddens my heart to realize we are living in a very wicked world. The mainstream media could actually pick up a topic like this to deliberate on, but you will not see it. Why are they not talking about this? The only place I see most videos, when I go through, doing research, seeing how people are reacting to certain issues, but you will not see the mainstream media actually advocating, talking about this. Only independent creators. It's a big issue.
Have been intentionally tainted using lead and other substances in the past. I had no idea. By sellers looking to hide defects in their products or otherwise inflate the amount of money they can actually make. Testing cinnamon sticks that the lead poisoning guy had sourced from Sri Lanka but not yet processed were tested by Ecuador, and those were not contaminated with lead, which points to him as being the source of the lead contamination. In December, the FDA cited one of the companies for failing to test its cinnamon applesauce pouches for heavy metals. The agency said that the applesauce maker should have taken steps to mitigate the risk that the cinnamon it was buying for its pouches could be tainted with lead and other toxins. But the FDA stopped short of saying that it was actually intentional, right? And it said the FDA has limited authority over foreign ingredient suppliers who do not directly ship product to the U.S. Thus, the FDA can't take direct action with Ecuador and the different supplying companies from there.
Then, it said the FDA has limited authority over foreign ingredient suppliers who do not directly ship product to the U.S. Thus, the FDA cannot take direct actions with Ecuador and different supplying companies from, and the person that actually did this, at least 413 cases of lead poisoning have been linked by her department to the recall process purchase. Complaints filed by parents with the FDA says that some children had been consuming multiple pouches daily of the cinnamon applesauce before the recall, and so there is a lot of reason to not give your children an ultra-processed food that is in plastic baby food pouch. A lot of reasons, but ultimately when you have food that is ultra-processed, you don't know the origin of those ingredients, and you can't trust companies to do the right thing and our government. So the FDA made it clear, like they don't have right to control over, certain product, but they should have consent over, because if products are leaving different countries, to enter your country, you should be able to cross-check that. If you realize that something is happening, you should take maximum precautions, to work on it.